What is up, you guys? Aaron here with 900 Rated Disc Golf. Got another disc review for you. The EMac Judge. This is a special edition. It's in the classic hybrid plastic. Looking forward to test this thing out. It's going to be a little bit different than my Luna review. I'm not going to be playing a putter round with it, but I am going to be doing all sorts of different shots with it. Going to be doing some hyzer release off the tee, flat release, and hyzer release. Going to be doing a little bit of work with just some upshots to see what it does just in closer situations. And then I'm also going to do a round of putting on it, get an idea on how it feels coming out of the hand, see how consistent it is, and then I'm going to go back and do another round off the tee just to see how much variability there is in the flight after it's been worked in a little bit. But I'm looking forward to it. Let's get started. So the EMac Judge is a pretty neutral flying putter. I'm going to put the flight numbers down below. It's got a micro bead on it. You may or may not be able to see that, but from what I've heard, this is a very point and shoot disc off the tee. It doesn't feel too bad coming out of the hand as far as putts go, so I'm really looking forward to see how this guy flies today. Alright, so I'm going to be doing all of my testing today on hole 7 out here in Mascoutah. The reason I chose hole 7 is it's very wide open. It's just over 300 feet. Most of the time, if I'm throwing putters off the tee, 300 feet is kind of the max that I'm going for. So we'll see if I can get it all the way there, give myself some, some good putting looks. But I'm going to start with some flat releases, go to hyzer and hyzer, do some upshots, and go from there. It does look like for the wind, there's just a little bit of a tailwind. It's not too strong. It's actually more of a tail left to right. So I do expect this to maybe drift slightly to the right, but I'm hoping that it still has a good fade at the end. Probably parked. Yeah, so that second shot was pretty much right under the basket. It is very point and shoot just from the couple throws that I've had so far. I'm gonna try a couple on more of a hyzer release, see how well it holds the line, and if I can still get some good distance with it. I'm going to chalk a little bit of that, probably up to the wind, pushing it right a little bit, but it kind of had the hyzer angle the whole time, but it didn't really go with the angle. It basically just kept going straight on the angle. Hopefully you guys can see that on the video, but that's kind of what I was able to get out of it. I'm going to have at least one more attempt on the hyzer angle, see what it does. Alright, so on this one, I'm going to still put it on the hyzer release, but I'm still probably going to be aiming almost straight at it. I put that one out a little bit farther right, hoping that it would hold the line, but it basically just kept going straight with the wind. So I'm going to aim this one pretty much dead straight at the basket, but put it on a hyzer release, and let's see if I can just ring one up. Probably about 10 times too. I'm liking this disc so far. Alright, gonna go with a couple hyzer releases. I'm kind of expecting the same thing. The wind is maybe pushing a little bit right, so in this case it might actually hold that ante line a little bit more. The wind might just pick it up and keep it going, but let's see how it goes. Not my best attempt, but better. Probably still about 50 feet short, but alright, so now I'm going to be doing some upshots for hole 6's basket, and now I'm going to work into a little bit of putting, simulate some wear on the disc, and then go back to the tee and see how it holds up. Alright, so I threw some upshots with the EMac Judge. It comes out really clean. That's something that just from off the tee and with upshots so far is that it feels really good. This classic hybrid plastic is very tacky, it's very grippy. There's a little bit of dew on the ground right now, and even when it is a little bit wet, it doesn't feel bad to throw. I will say it doesn't feel the best for forehands, but it did still come out clean. Nice neutral flight on basically everything. So far, really liking the Judge. Now I'm going to really only going to be about 10 to 15 feet away, and I'm just going to put a lot of putts on it, just try to simulate some overall wear, and then go back to the tee, see if it changes the flight at all. Alright, so after some putting, you can see maybe a little bit of rim wear. It's not too crazy. There doesn't seem to be any major nicks. I don't expect that to affect the flight at all. But gonna get a couple more off the tee and give you my final thoughts. Alright, so for my last throws, I'm gonna give it probably kind of like a normal type of hyzer release. Most of my regular release probably has a little bit of hyzer anyway. So gonna be throwing, basically just trying to get it as close to the basket as possible. A lot of my throws today with it were around pin high, maybe just a little bit to the right, one just behind the basket. So definitely a fairly point and shoot type of disc. It doesn't really want to hyzer out, it seems like. It really just wants to ride straight. So just going to be going straight toward the basket. Still about pin high. I'm gonna do one more. All right, let's go get it and I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, coming up on the basket, going a little bit long, a little bit right. We're gonna come across that Judge. Probably a good 320, 330 feet. All right, so my final thoughts on the EMac Judge. I really liked this disc. I don't think I'm gonna switch putters just for putting purposes, but it actually felt pretty good out of the hand as far as putting goes, and I don't really get that with a lot of putters. I'm really used to my AVR3s. Most other putters feel weird. But the EMac Judge was actually really comfortable getting out of the hand. This plastic, like I mentioned earlier, is very grippy, very tacky, so it's easier to feel comfortable just holding it. And then off the tee and for upshots, it's so clean. It feels so good coming out of the hand. It's very point and shoot. I'm sure you could tell on a few of my hyzer releases, it didn't really want to hyzer out. It just wanted to like hold the hyzer angle and just keep riding straight. It was a really interesting disc. I was able to throw it really well. It does have a fair amount of glide to it, so on this hole in particular it's only 300 feet, but I put a couple past the basket with not a whole lot of effort. I feel like if I really wanted to go like max distance with this disc, I could probably push it close to 350. It feels really good off the tee and after putting. There is a little bit of wear on the edge of the disc, but it really didn't seem to affect the flight at all on my last couple throws. So this is definitely a disc where you can put a lot of damage to it, and it'll probably just gradually flip over, maybe just a little bit more. But this is a really good disc. I didn't have a great relationship with the Luna. I've been looking for the possibility of having throwing putters in my bag. I throw my AVR3s really well, but when I'm trying to use those for putting and for throwing, you know, they wear in quite differently. So to have something like this that I can use as a throwing putter that's just dead straight is really good, and I think this is going to go in my bag, guys. Tried this disc out already. Let me know how you liked it. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Be on the lookout for some more disc reviews. Speaking of Lunas, I've got the new 2021 Tour Series Luna along with the Tour Series Fierce. A review for those is coming soon. Hopefully this run is maybe a little bit more stable and can find a spot in my bag. I've never thrown a Fierce before, so I'm looking forward to possibly having a flippy putter in my bag. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. Like I said, stay tuned for more. Have a great day, you guys.